Guys, this is take number 3, by the way. I want you guys to know that. We filmed 2 full-on clips before, 2 full-on intros, and they've all been thrown aside. Oh, man. I blame Ben. I
That's
blame Ben.
okay.
No problem. All right. Welcome back to another video, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Super excited to get back into this video. I am super excited to finally show you guys the E92 M3 again. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, we are going to be installing the magnetic paddle shifters. So they're not really too expensive. So it's kind of good, and I'm really excited to finally get to add some more finishing touches per se to the interior of the car. So in the last video we filmed, it was adding on our full titanium exhaust from Toby Performance, and it's valved, and honestly it sounds completely amazing. I couldn't be happier with how it sounds. At the end of this video, I might try to see if we can get your guys' first impressions of the exhaust. We might go for like a little drive later on, but for right now, let's get these paddles on and see how they turn out. All right, so we are now back inside the house. So basically just give you guys kind of like an initial, kind of like unboxing, I guess, per se. So as soon as you open it, this is kind of what you're presented with. You immediately go to the actual paddle mechanisms right here. And then if you look right through here, sorry, I'm looking at everything through my screen. So if my hand ends up grabbing things because I can't really see too well, my apologies. But then you have your smaller paddles right here. These are the ones that I'm probably most likely going to be using. And then you have the larger paddles right here to the back that I most likely won't. But I don't know, I might try one on one side and one on the other just to kind of gauge how I feel. And if I like it, then I might go with the larger ones, but I'm kind of more feeling with the smaller ones. What do you think, Ben? Larger
It's
or
all a
smaller?
personal preference. I mean, most people go with a larger one so that they don't really miss when they go for that shift.
Yeah.
Because you have obviously more surface to grab
Yeah.
than the smaller one. But I mean, I prefer the smaller look, even though the ones on my M3 were kind of this size, but a little bit smaller. I probably want to say mine stopped like here
Yeah.
and here, as opposed to like this extra bit up here. But I think you'll like the smaller ones. I don't think you'll miss shift.
Well, a
Or miss
little
a
side
shift.
note. Go ahead, Ben. Tell them something about this company that they might not already know.
What do you want me to say? Oh, it's funny. No, I mean, RM Motorsports or Ridgeline Motorsports. I have their steering wheel on my 335i. I also have a discount code with them. I think it's Benny5. I was affiliated. Well, I still am affiliated with them, but I became whatever they call it. But yeah, I think it's Benny5. You can see it in our older videos when I was installing the steering wheel. But if you want 5% off, use the code.
There you go. So there you have it. If you guys are watching this video because maybe you're a little bit unsure about how to do the install, maybe you guys want to go with the magnetic shifters and stuff like that, not only are you guys learning how to do it, you guys are learning what you get. You're also learning that you can get 5% off by using Benny 5. Built by Ben, right? All right, so I'm most likely going to go with these smaller ones. I kind of want to set these up and do like a little side by side so you can kind of see the difference, and then we'll jump into that. So while Ben is getting some B-roll, I'll kind of show you guys the difference between the two. Ignore how dirty this is, but these are both your downshift paddles, like so. And now you can kind of see the difference in size, especially between this and this. It's almost twice the size. I'd definitely say it's an extra 40% longer. But yeah, that's the difference between the two right here, OEM, and then you have the ones that I'm going to be using, and then I'll try them for a week, and if I want to switch, then I'll probably switch. Okay, so we got both sides in. I did one larger paddle on the right, and then I did the smaller one on the left. I kind of like the larger one. I kind of like them both, honestly. I wanted to ask Ben what he thought, just to see if maybe like he would have a differing opinion than me. So what do you think, Ben?
I feel like they both look good. I feel like they're both gonna work regardless. Just depends on how much of a surface area you want, right? So this is 4 fingers that take up this whole smaller one, and then this is 4 fingers from the top down, but you still have all this extra room on the bottom. So I mean, if you want to make sure when you're shifting, you actually, you know, get the whole feel of it.
Even while the wheel is turned or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think that both work. It's just a preference on what you want at that point.
I'm gonna go large. Go big or go home. Ironically, I'm at home, but that's funny. So I'm gonna go with the larger ones, and if I don't like it, then we'll swap them out to the smaller ones. I'll give it a week. Ben, believe it or not, says that he thinks I'm gonna go back to OEM.
I gave it 1 month.
Yeah, he gave me a month. We'll see, but I don't think so. But we'll see. Comment down below what you guys think, and comment down below if you guys like the smaller paddles or the larger paddles. Like, obviously, I'm not talking about like the eBay size where it's like this big, but that one on the larger side, I would say is probably about like this big, and to me, it feels just about right as far as sizes go. And the smaller one, if you like the, you know, for 2 fingers, sure, but the larger one, if you want to pick or decide whichever finger you want to use, it's good for that too. So comment down below what you guys think. But now we're going to piece everything back together and maybe go for a drive in a little bit. All right, let's take off. So it's been some time. We had a little hiccup, and we had to go back and fix it. Do you want to say what happened?
No. Your car?
So I'll be fully transparent. I have no issue doing that. In putting the airbag back on, apparently I didn't put one of the cables for the paddles, or about both of them. I'd say I didn't put them both where they needed to be. So when I went to put the actual airbag on, it snapped them. So we ended up repairing them, fixing them back, and I just started the car just to make sure that I can go up and down with the paddles. Now we're gonna go for our first test drive. So we had just put on the exhaust, I would say 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago now. About
2 days ago, and depending on how that edit comes out, when we had filmed it, the exhaust with the valves open was so loud that it completely ruined all of the audio once we pressed that button and switched them from closed to open. So now we're finally able to get our first true impression on this exhaust and the paddles as well. So first what we'll do is we'll go straight through the paddles. I'll switch it over, and then we'll do my review, and then after that we'll do my exhaust review too, my impressions. So let's see. Honestly, I like it. I like it. So my first impressions, and I don't know how long it'll last, but it definitely, so on the OEM, the back of the paddle is like smooth and rounded, I guess, to your finger, so it kind of would feel more comfortable. But if you want that like rugged feeling that you're actually doing something when you're shifting your gears, this paddle shifter definitely makes a difference. What do you think?
I've personally never experienced those type of paddles.
Yeah.
Receiver fell here. I've never experienced those type of paddles, the magnetic ones that go click click. I get why people buy them, because a race car, I get it, or a sim. So I mean, I can understand why, but I can also understand why they'd be annoying. I've had several friends who have bought them, whether they be from Ridgeline Motorsports, Mashimaru, JPEG. You know, they've had them all, and after about a month or two, they get tired of them, because all you hear when you're in the car is
clickety clack, clickety
what
clack.
You're hearing right now. And like anything, I mean, I can understand how it would get annoying. I would more understand if you didn't daily drive the vehicle that you're putting them on, and you just use it for track purposes or whatever the purpose it was used for.
Fair enough.
You get that little subtle, oh yeah, you know, this sounds good, this feels good,
right?
And then put it back in the garage until your next time that you take it out. But I think for more of a dailyable use for them, I think they would get annoying. But I mean, they felt good when I clicked on them, when I made sure that they worked. So I can understand again why people buy them.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. If you want to use it more for track, but to be honest, who's really going and, you know, switching to using your paddles everywhere you go? You know what I mean? You're not really going to do that every day unless you really, really want to. So I feel like it's a good thing to have, and not use than just have something that you want and then you can't use it, if that makes sense. With that being said, I do like it. Now, obviously, this is my first impression, so a month from now it might be different, just being completely honest. But as far as the way that it feels, definitely the way that it definitely sounds and feels more engaging. And if you ask any of the E92 M3 platform enthusiasts, they always want this car because they're going to say that it's more engaging. So anything to increase my feeling of being engaging, I'm going to go for it 100%. But with that being said, let's open up this exhaust, and Ben, let me know what you think of the exhaust. So first and foremost, my exhaust is closed right now. The valve is closed. And could you say that it sounds kind of like how it did OEM or before?
No, I think it definitely sounds a little bit deeper. It's definitely more prominent. It's definitely there. Like before, it was quiet, right? You had no control over the valve system whatsoever,
right?
Because your OEM exhaust didn't have electronic actuators to open and close the valves. So you pretty much got what you got. Now you have the ability to open and close your valves, and you've pretty much removed all the restriction from the headers back. So I definitely think it sounds a lot better now.
Even as far as closed.
Yeah, even with their closed, I think it sounds a lot better.
Right.
But it's definitely doable with them closed. I already know what it sounds like when they're open. Jamal was trying to make my ears bleed at the dealership, being inside with four walls, revving his car. So.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious to see what it sounds like with the valves open outside, inside the cockpit.
Yeah.
From that standpoint.
Okay. Well, with that being said, let's try it. So we're gonna open them up. So it just literally opened up. It's a noticeable difference. You have a little bit more drone.
Yeah, a lot more.
But the windows are up, and we're in our highest gear.
Correct.
Okay. So see, when I step on it, you can definitely hear it.
Yeah,
right. But now it's definitely there. So now I'll open up this window a little bit. See if this makes a difference. How's drone now? A little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
This car does a really good job at keeping the sound out.
Yeah, of course it's a BMW. All BMWs have great sound deadening.
Right. All right, now for the downshift. Definitely sings. Definitely sings. And I feel like it's just the right amount of sound for when you want it. And then it kind of just goes back to being a little bit more quiet. But that... All right, let's switch it to its M mode. See what it does. That backfire sounds pretty good. This car is singing, Ben. It's okay to smile. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. This is definitely it's just the right amount of sound. It's the right amount of feel. Makes you feel engaged. Yeah, let's get these windows up. We'll cut it back over. Put it into, we'll shut them off. Yeah, to me, it's perfect, in my opinion. But now that you heard it from the outside, what do you think? Yeah. Yeah. It does the thing.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds good, definitely. But I mean, in my opinion, I feel like they all sound somewhat similar, depending on, you know, which brand you go with, and, you know, whether you get a brand that has resonators in it or a bigger muffler or style or whatever. And depending on the material that the exhaust is made out of is definitely going to depend on, you know, what the outcome of the pitch.
Right.
You know, whether it like screams and sings like this full titanium does.
Yeah.
Or whether you get a stainless steel and it's a little bit of a deeper tone.
Right.
And it's not as like so.
The pitch?
Yeah, the pitch isn't like it's screaming, I guess you could say. But some people
Right.
like the scream. Some people like when it's like, wah! You know what I'm saying?
When it's bouncing off of trees and stuff through the back roads.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I mean, it sounds good, and this is what Jamal wanted. It's funny because I asked him, I said, well, Jamal, before you bought this full titanium exhaust, did you happen to look up any videos or anything and see what it would sound like before you purchased it? And he was like, no, I didn't look up a single video. And I said, oh, okay. And good for him. It actually, you know, panned out being what he actually wanted the car to end up sounding like. So
That's hilarious.
$25 that muffler, man.
That's crazy. Times 10.
Sure.
And then double it.
Oh, Lord.
That's crazy. No, well, you got our opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys stayed to the end, I appreciate you guys. Ben, do you want to give them the new update on the Instagram again?
Oh, I mean,
yeah, let them know.
I changed my Instagram name to Built by Ben.
No
Two-
life.
2 underscores.
Yes, no energy. Oh my gosh.
Listen, Jamal's like, I have no energy, right? But he was just telling me probably about an hour ago about how loud he talks when he has these mics on. And then I was telling him with my set of mics that I have his mic turned all the way down because of how loud he speaks. So I'm just speaking in a normal pitch so it doesn't blow your eardrums out when you have your AirPods in watching this video.
Smile.
I am smiling.
Smile.
I don't know. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. It's just Built by Ben, 2 underscores after that. And that's really it. I mean, it's not like some life-changing, you know, Instagram handle, you know.
Yes, it is.
I just had to change it because I don't have the M3 anymore. So, and it just made more sense to just make it Built by Ben because I've had so many different builds in my life. You know, from my E36 to my 335, from my 335i to my S1000RR, from my S1000RR to my M3, and every other car that I've had in between that was never on my Instagram. So it just made more sense to just have Built by Ben instead of making it more to one specific thing. Like Shame S55 was SHAM3 and then underscore S55, right? Because S55 is what's in the F80 M3, and then Shame was just SHAM3. So it all made sense in that aspect. But again, because I've owned so many different BMWs, it just makes more sense for me to go with Built by Ben because that's more marketable. And even if I decide to get a Aston Martin, it's just Built by Ben. There's no BMW relation to it.
He did Built by Ben because half of the M's that you see driving around Orlando, he's got his hands on them. Okay?
98%.
Correct. So you need to own that. Built by Ben. Half of Orlando over here is Built by Ben. That's why they call him the GOAT.
Yeah, but everybody in my group chat is 100% Built by me. So
Oh my gosh.
I had to remind them the other day.
Well, that being said, you guys already heard the background music, so you know what that means. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I mean, I think it sounds like what you could have done for $25 at Muffler Man.
That's crazy.
Just chopped off.
That's
the whole exhaust.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
No. I mean, yeah,
You said
but
Muffler Man.
yeah, Muffler Man, $25 and you could have got the same. for something.
That's crazy.
No.
Listen.